All right, so good evening. So as you can see, I got the Spider Farmer Dehumidifier right here. So I'm trying to put it right next to the tent. I'm gonna move this humidifier out of the way, shift that bucket over. I have another bucket right there that I'm gonna use as a stand. And then I'm gonna have the drain hose going right into this bottle right here. And I'm trying to run the 6-inch vent right through the bottom right there. I'm just gonna have to take those wires and move them to the side. But I'll show you what it looks like after it's finished. So got this thing set up. This was a lot of work. I had to do a lot. And I only have one hand because I cut my finger with this little blade. I was opening the Spider Farmer box. Cut myself right with this. So I did this whole job with one hand. I got the humidified air coming in down here. Move my little blue fan to the top so it can continue to blow it around the tent. I took the Inkbird controller, this thing. I took it out for now. I'm gonna just store it, and I don't really need it. I just unplugged the heater, and then the humidifier I put right here. As you can see, I just ran the tube just like that, put it up on a bucket, set it at 56 or whatever, 55, and then I have the drain hose going right into that tub. And like everybody mentioned, I'm going to say the same thing. This little yellow plug, save it. I'm going to tape it to the side of this machine so I never lose it. And that's it. I reorganized some of my stuff. I'm just going to move all this stuff around. Dehumidifier, I'll probably clean it out and just put it away for now. And that's it. So Spider Farmer Dehumidifier. Let's see if it solves my humidity problem, which I'm hoping that it does. So I'm going to seal up all these portholes in here because I reopened everything. Clean it all up, and then that's it. Hey, so good morning, everybody. This is just an update. So the humidity, good news, the humidity has now dropped down to about 40%. I have the Spider Farmer dehumidifier right here, pumping some dehumidified air into the bottom of the tent. I got my little blue fan that's pushing the air around. I left my vents open on the bottom. I set my inline fan to basically be a lower speed to keep it, keep it more stable. And it's been good so far. I mean, the way that I used this thing was I hooked up the drain hose to that container right there, so you can see, so I don't have to keep emptying the emptying the reservoir out. I mean, the way that I have it set up is I put it on top of this bucket, and I continue to use the styrofoam that it came with to prevent it from kind of, falling off the top. So that provides a little bit of elevation so that the hose is above the bucket right there, so the water just continuously drains into there and I don't have to worry about it. I had to redo the whole, all of my power wires and everything. I had to redo all that last night. And then I had to kind of set this hose up right here. I had to move the plant over a little bit. But since doing it, it looks a lot better. I'm taking this leaf off right here because it's looking crazy. So another thing that happened to me last night while doing this, well, two things. One, I cut my finger with a razor blade. So when I was kind of setting all this up, I had to do it with one hand. So I had to basically set this entire dehumidifier up and do everything with one hand. So it was pretty tough. The other thing I did last night was I sprayed with Crop Defender 3 right at the lights. The lights were off, so I did it with the lights off. I did that because if you can see the leaves, I mean, it's very hard to see, but there's like a very minor like the stippling starts, like the little spots on the leaves. The little spots on the leaves are a usual telltale sign of spider mites. So I did take one of the leaves off. I did think I saw like a couple of little spider mites on there. So I immediately attacked this thing with the Crop Defender 3. And I think that it's okay, but again, taking this leaf off. I think that it's okay, but I'm not 100% sure. So, you know, if you look at the back of the leaves, it's hard to see, but if you really focus, and I have a microscope as well, so I can kind of really zoom in if I want the confirmation. But my eye has like kind of gotten trained to be able to see when I have a spider mite issue, so that the issue does not get totally out of control. Because if you don't get it really early, if you don't spray early, you know, you're gonna have an infestation. And then once you have the webbing on the actual flowers, it's already too late. You know, it's already too big of an infestation. So I'm looking at these plants right now, and I can probably give a little bit of food. So I'm gonna feed them real quick, and I'll put you guys on tripod. All right, so we're just gonna go through and water. This is just some of the leftover water that I had mixed with the food. So I'm just gonna go through and, you know, saturate each one of these plants. They definitely drink the water very fast. So I would say I'm watering at this point every 2 or 3 days. Going through and just kind of saturating the soil. And the way that I'm determining if they need more water is I'm looking at the soil, which looks extremely dry, and then I'm just kind of moving the pot a little bit. I can't really lift it up because it's under the trellis net, so I can't really lift the whole pot, but I can move it a little bit with my hand, and just that alone is enough to be able to tell if it needs water, because it's very light. So it's really not that hard to figure out. I feel like that's something that I've just learned along the way. You know, I didn't first grow I ever had, I wasn't able to tell, oh, these plants need water. Like, I definitely was one of those guys that overwatered, and I've had to abort so many different grows because, you know, the soil was totally waterlogged. The plants were totally waterlogged. The root system was totally just too much water. So it's definitely something that I've learned over time about how to get better at it. You know, and just like anything else, I have to make mistakes to know that I'm not doing it correctly. But as of right now, hold on, let me just show you a close-up. So this is what they're looking like. I'm gonna again check them for the spider mites tonight, just so you can see. So let me grab one of these leaves, and I will try and show you what I was talking about. Okay, so let me show you what I was talking about. This is a close-up of one of the leaves that I was mentioning had the little stippling on it. You see how there's those little spots right there and then right there. See how it's like a little bit lighter? So that to me was something that immediately sets off my alarm to check it, because in the past that has been thing that has notified me to spider mites. So I gave it a preventative spray last night. I'm gonna do it again tonight. Make sure that I totally knock them down. All right, so this is the canopy after I just kind of cleaned it up a little bit, and I watered, and I'm gonna now close the tent. Spider Farmer Dehumidifier is at 50, which is perfect. I'm gonna close the tent door and come back and check it again later tonight.